Passionate about quilts. That's what I've been for the past 30 years.
Shelly Zegart of Louisville is a recognized expert on American quilts. She not only collects and sells fine quilts, but also curates exhibitions, has authored a number of books, and lectures on all aspects of quilt history and aesthetics.
There are many things that make a quilt valuable. The quilts are valuable as art objects. That's really what brings the price up, is the aesthetic of the piece itself. Of course, if it's a wonderful historical piece and it has really tight provenance, that's also valuable, makes it valuable. Why do people want them? Because they're pieces of their past, because they tell stories, especially women's stories.
Shelly Zegart has helped build quilt collections around the world. This fall, about 24 of the most significant from her own collection were gathered for a special exhibit here at the Kentucky Museum of Art and Craft.
I was delighted when the curator at the museum asked me to mount an exhibit there as part of a collector's series. But he made me really think about what I've done over all these years, and so the exhibit was really a retrospective of my 30 years of work with quilts. It was very good to see it all together because, you know, when you're in the middle of the weeds, so to speak, and you don't get a chance to have the perspective of getting up on that mountain and looking down at the full landscape, and it gave me the opportunity to look at the landscape.
With just a little patience and a good eye for detail, a whole history is revealed through the examination of antique quilts. The language of quilting is a symbolic language. Thanks to Shelly Zegart, that language continues to inspire remembrance and to preserve the experiences of American women for future generations to examine.
This is an 1860s quilt that has never been used. It was obviously then made in a family with some means because they were able to save it. Otherwise, the quilts had to be used up. Even more interesting with this particular quilt is that we know the family background. It was from Elkin County, North Carolina. We know the family's name. We know that that one of the family members fought in the Civil War. You rarely have that kind of information. It tends to get separated from the quilts. You know, when grandma's passed away and there are trunks full of quilts in the attic, in many cases, nobody knew who made them or where they really came from or which ones were valuable. And so oftentimes they just vanished, or they'd sell them to dealers without ever knowing what they had. If you're looking to begin a collection that you hope you can build for the future, then I would highly recommend that you go to a very respected dealer. For many reasons, besides the fact that they're going to stand behind what they sell you, the reproduction world is enormous now. With the computers that we have and all the technical skills, people and companies are legitimately reproducing very early printed fabrics, meaning 1830s, 1840s, 1850s. So unless you're really working with someone who knows the difference between a reproduction piece of fabric and the authentic piece of fabric, you can be fooled very easily.
For WorthPoint.com, this is Barry Burnson.